So tell me a little bit about everything you. I'm so excited. I'm really like thankful that you reached
Okay,
out
well,
to talk to me about this. So
yes. Well, to start, I started my journey in 2017. That was right after the birth of my last son. I was nearly 400 pounds. And I was like, I can't do this. I had kids, I have three boys, and now two extra because, it growing family. But I really decided that I needed to take my health and everything into consideration for them. And so I really got into fitness. It took a long time. I've done a lot of trial and error. I've been through multiple different surgeries that has caused limitations and things like that throughout those years as well. But I have successfully lost 285 pounds. Yeah, all through diet and exercise. No GLPs, no Ozempic, nothing like that. It was diet, exercise, and lifestyle change. Yeah.
that's incredible.
And I came from a very small town in Indiana. So we didn't have much, growing up, but we, we made do. So I've really put forth an effort to do something. And my specialty now is for corrective exercises limit for people with limitations. And I'm also getting ready to specialize in women over 40 going through the change. So, yeah, because I'm getting ready to go through it, and I'm already having those symptoms. So I'm like, I ain't the only one.
Yeah, yeah.
I am very self-taught, but I've done a lot of training online and throughout the years. It's been a wild ride. I don't even know where to begin.
Where is it that you found you wanted to help other people get through the same journey that you're going through?
What helped me? Is that what you, sorry, it kind of
Yeah.
broke up.
No, 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 it's okay. I'm so sorry about that. Like, why do you want to help other people?
Because it's something that's in me. I really want to help other people strive to be better because I was given a lot of hardship growing up. I've been through the foster care system. I went through rape, molestation, and all that. And I want to be able to show that no matter where you come from or what you endure as you go through life with, getting an injury unexpectedly, having kids, having to move, you can still rise above and you don't have to be a statistic of, you know, your only option is falling for drugs or doing this. No, if you change your mind and put yourself forward, you can be a better person. And I want to be able to inspire others that, have had it rough, don't have an easy ticket, and that need that extra little help from somebody just to be like, yeah, you can do it. It's okay. It's not your fault or whatever. Now, let's change it and see what we can do for the good. That's my biggest thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And so,
thank you.
what is it you do right now? Like, what's your like title? Where do you kind of work, or any of that kind of stuff?
I am a personal trainer and nutritionist at Smart Sports in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So I do personal training. I go through meal plans. I do one-on-ones. I help with classes, and things like that. And I do some people that are online. I help, with structure on there and really trying to improve that. So that's what I've been
That's a
doing now.
lot. You juggle a
Yeah.
lot.
Yes.
How long
Yeah.
have you been at it with them?
I have been with Smart Sports now for going on 2 months, but it's been crazy. I've only had my actual certificate now for about 6 months. But like I said, I've been doing it for 17 years.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that personal experience is so helpful because so many people, I feel like that's their rebuttal is like, what do you know? Like, what have you been through? Like, how do you know how to even help me if you've never been through it yourself, you know?
Exactly. That's been a lot of it. People are like, okay, you know your knowledge, okay, but do you actually know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing I try to connect with like my clients and things is I understand that it is going to be rough. You know, you really got to listen to your body. I really try to teach those, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's huge in women's health. Like, it's so different than men's health. Like, what I've learned at least is that it's just like women's health alone, and then being a woman to try to teach another woman, we're like barely knowing how to just find where we need to go.
Exactly. Yes. I've been training my husband too. So
That's
and
awesome.
it's been yeah, and he's been doing great with it. And being able to know that difference in training men and women, I am definitely learning. Obviously, being a woman, I know that better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
seeing that difference is insane,
Yeah,
whenever it
yeah,
comes to re-envisioning your body and things.
yeah.
It's
Especially
a
with
big
like
one.
older age, that's hard too, right? Like you don't
Yeah, as
spring
I've gotten
back like when
older,
you're
it is
20.
definitely harder.
Yeah, yeah,
I I am 38, so I feel
yeah,
a lot older some days.
yeah.
That's why I'm really wanting to specialize in women with going through menopause and stuff. So that way, you can continue. I'm hoping to continue my current lifestyle while going through it because it's
Hmm.
not easy.
No, 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 it's not.
No.
And so, at some point, you had mentioned a little bit about like wanting to own a gym or those kinds of things, like having a different part of your life instead of what you're doing right now. Could you share a little bit about
Yes.
that with me?
Yeah, I am definitely wanting to open up some type of a gym or something here local for for women to feel more comfortable coming in, with children and being able to incorporate your kids in with your exercising, something like that. And something that's going to benefit around the community that's not going to be overpriced, but going to work with people and things like that. So that way, the lower income and people who haven't got the means can still learn to be healthy and can still learn to work out to improve their life. That's my ultimate goal is to build a gym or someplace like that. You
Yeah,
know.
and that's massive because we just had the YMCA just close.
Yes, that's it. I've had a lot of people come from the Y over, so and it's I've heard a lot of people miss it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
something that's
that's why I want to do
community.
something more family oriented around the area.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely a goal.
that's awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, at least have something like to where you have a like one day women and kids only, or one day strictly bodybuilding only in the gym. Something like that to kind of help other people, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
which would be really
absolutely. Have
nice.
some more tailored. Yeah, absolutely. Have you experienced any of the other like smaller gyms in town that do like I think like strongman or like some of those other things?
I've went to a couple of them, and I have been in contact with a couple with the owners of one or two gyms here locally. Um, and that is something that I've been working on. It's not exactly in the right place right now to take on that full step,
It's a
but
lot.
it's
Yeah.
definitely in my books to do.
Yeah.
I've been to like Fitness 307 in town. I've been to Gold's Gym and, a couple of those other ones, like you mentioned, and they're really great to a point,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
kind of gives you the do's and the don'ts and what people need. That's my biggest thing
Yeah.
is to find what's
Yeah, and
needed
I
in here
I
in
haven't
town.
really experienced them. I was like invited to like go see some of them, but I haven't experienced any of
Yeah.
them. But I have like gone to the Gold's Gym, and I do have to say like it would be nice to have even just like a little bit more community, especially around like women and women who are moms. Like I feel like there's this idea that we all have the same 24 hours, and that's just not there at all. You know?
No, exactly. It, it's not, you're not. And I had, like I said, I grew up, my oldest son, I had him when I was 19. So I was really young when I had him. And that really changed a lot of my life. So I can definitely relate to moms and understanding how we need to adjust. So that's why I really want to focus something more centered around the families,
Yeah, and
and to help them with health and teaching you nutrition. And you don't need all this big stuff that everything says. You just need one or two little things, and you can do it within a budget.
yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I want to help with. So you
Yeah,
can
making
do
it
it.
accessible. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's cost effective and things. That's my biggest.
Yeah.
Because I can
No,
tell
that's
this area definitely needs something like that.
yeah. Well, and especially for women, I feel like the few smaller gyms outside of like the Golds or the Planet Fitness that are like they're owned by men, but then they're like, that's more of the scene, right?
Yes, it is. Well, the good thing is at Smart Sports, my gym manager, who's obviously my boss, is a woman. And all of us there, the trainers, were all women. So
Oh,
that's another positive that I love about working there
that's
is
awesome.
there is more women perspective. And obviously, there's a bunch of men there that come, no issues there. We just have a lot more female trainers than we
Yeah.
do men. So that's
Yeah.
one thing I love. That's why I really try to specialize in what I do for women because
Yeah,
we
that's
need it.
awesome. I didn't know they had so many women there. So that's
Hmm
really
We,
cool.
yeah, I think we have 5 or 6 in total.
Wow.
And like I said,
That's
the gym
awesome.
manager, she is a female as well.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it's pretty
That's
cool.
really good.
Yeah.
Huh. And so when you think about like owning a gym and that kind of stuff, are you worried about like having to do a lot more of the business administration stuff instead of like the coaching aspect?
Yes, I am very nervous about that
Yeah.
because uh, I'm dyslexic too. So the numbers and things like that get all jumbled, and I hate that.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, you know, there's a lot of extra software out there that can help with that. But that is definitely my biggest hurdle I'm going to have to figure out. And it, and I know it's going to be a rough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like that's the worst part of like in between, like you have this like career, but then you have this entrepreneur goal, and it's like
Mhm.
now when you become a business owner, like now you don't get to do the thing that you love to do in your career. So,
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at is like I have those goals that I want to do, but I love where I'm at right now. So I'm trying not to just jump into getting to where my main goal is. Trying to enjoy it and, learn as much as I can and soak up the industry and things like that. Because I feel like that would help out in the future, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you can learn from like any of the other smaller places or even your boss, right, about like what all the things you need to take into consideration. I don't even know all
Yes.
the things into consideration of owning a facility, you know?
Hmm. Oh, just me, where I've been certified and I'm still new at being certified. I go to her and I'm like, is this still acceptable? I'm like, is this, I pick her brain because she's amazing at it. And it's great to have somebody that I can look up to. Of course, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I've ever told her that. So,
Yeah, yeah, but we all need that. I think that's important too in the field is just community or like mentorship
mhm.
and people
Yes.
you can look up to
And that's what
or
I want.
surround yourself with.
Yeah, that's what I want is community for women because, you know, we don't have that much anymore. We're always told, okay, you're fine, suck it up.
Yeah,
We've always been told that. But
yeah,
mm, we don't want that all the time. So I want somewhere that's going to be comfortable, you know?
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or at least
That's
have
my
like some
goals.
kind of answers. I love that. Those are good goals, and they're definitely
Good.
needed, especially in a resource desert like Cheyenne.
Yes, definitely. I used to in the past travel to the reservations in South Dakota, and I would do
Wow.
missionary work in the past, and working with the women, the children there, and teaching them just basic stuff. I'm like, this is what is needed. And then being here, seeing it, I'm like, this is a perfect spot, because it's Cheyenne. There's so many rural areas around that need that, knowing that there's somewhere out there. That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
somewhere. I guess it's kind of close and dear to my heart. I don't know.
yeah. Do you feel like you had community or a mentor to look up to when you were in your 20s?
When I was in my 20s, honestly, I don't know. I was really driven to try to be a good mom. I went through my own personal mental health struggles, and I would have to probably say there was a couple women in my life that I did look up to as mom figures, of course. And then there was my mom. But, it's just, I kind of learned as I went in life, because I had my son at 19. And at that time, I didn't have any contact with my family because of reasons and things, because of the community, the Amish community I grew up in. Didn't take too kindly to my life choices. So I learned a lot on my own, but I wouldn't have it anyway, other way, because I am who I am today because of it. You know,
Yeah,
would I
yeah,
make better choices? Probably.
yeah. Understandable. Do you feel like
Mhm.
now with like the community and the career and everything that you have going on that you struggle at all with burnout?
Yes, that is one thing I am afraid of. So I really, because one thing I learned also is discipline. I really had to pause and tell myself to take time off, take my own me time, you know, and step away from it so I don't get burnt out because that's one thing I do fear, because it's a possibility. But I really try to focus on my personal time, I guess you could kind of say. And my husband helps with it. He knows me very well. When I get stressed, I'm like, you need to take a day.
Yeah, that's
So,
always helpful to have somebody in your corner, definitely, who knows you and
yes.
knows that you need to take some time.
Yeah, and he's really good at that because I am one of those, I'm just constantly go, 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 go. He'll be like, cool it down, ring it in a few notches.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
it's pretty
awesome.
cool. Hmm.
What would you say is your favorite thing to do outside of your career?
My favorite thing to do, I love to fish.
Ooh,
I
that's
love
awesome.
fishing. Yes.
Nice.
I am a big outdoors person. I like fishing, camping, traveling, things like that.
Have you always been into that?
Yes, since I was little.
That's awesome.
I grew up on out in the country, out in the woods, so I was always out hunting, fishing, playing in the creeks or something like that. And to this day, I still, even my parents will tell you, you can make her happy, go find her some rocks in a creek.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
feel like a lot of people, especially in Cheyenne, Wyoming, like love the outdoors, love to get out. Yeah,
Yeah, I've only lived here now going on 2 years, and I love Cheyenne. Being able to be outside all the time.
yeah, yeah. When it's not so windy, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's an issue I'm having. This wind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that is a that the wind is a tough one.
Yeah, for sure. Do you, when you, I've never been to the place that you're talking about. Do you guys always train inside or do you guys go outside at all?
We train inside in the gym. We
Nice.
have a bunch of different rooms. We have our
Okay.
main lobby that has all of our machines and treadmills, ellipticals, the stairmasters, the bikes, and then you have a weight room and then another weight room for like bench pressing and deadlifting and stuff like that.
That's
Then we
awesome.
also have an area that has a pool and a hot tub and the locker rooms, a tanning bed that you get with your membership. So it's pretty good, and a sauna as well.
Nice.
Hmm.
That
It's
sounds
pretty nice.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some gyms where they have like a big garage door so like a lot of people can like exercise outside and stuff and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I can only imagine how well that
Yeah.
goes in this wind.
Yeah, that I wouldn't know. Yeah. That's why I'm glad we go inside.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I just know I've seen quite a few, like, I don't know if they're moms in particular, but especially women being like, what is there to do? Or like, what other women like to like go do things outside or go to work out? Or like, I think especially like the Gold's Gym, they have that daycare, but you know, some moms are like, I just really want to be with my kid. Like, can they come work out with me? That kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I
Well,
feel like the outdoors is so easy to do with your kids too.
that's one thing, like, I haven't fully got it in the works yet how I want to do it, but this summer I want to create some classes for moms that we can go to, like Lions Park, and we can do workouts with our kids right there and make a few hours of it. That's something I'm planning on doing is coming up with classes like that.
That sounds awesome. That would be so
Yeah,
good.
that's what I was thinking. It'd be really good for moms, especially with summer break and all that.
Yeah. I feel
Definitely.
like they're
So
always
it's
trying to
definitely
find
something I'm working on.
activities to do.
Keep an eye out. Yes.
I will have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
Um, so when it comes to like owning the gym, is there anything else outside of like giving people a place of community? Like, is it something that you would hope to be able to expand past Cheyenne or have as a legacy for your own?
I really haven't thought about it. I don't think I would want it to expand. I would want it to be something, personal, like probably just within the family. Yeah, unless it became something huge, but Yeah, I'm not gonna go out that journey yet.
I get it. Yeah. No,
But
absolutely.
I want something small, that everybody knows everybody, and they'll be like, "Oh, that gym? Yeah, this person owns it, and they have a great family, that owns it." That type. That's what I'm going for. That's what I want more.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think, some people, when you say legacy, I feel like they think like a big, giant, like corporation or something. And
Yeah.
really, it can be something so small, like just being able to make an impact within the community.
Hmm.
Like people forget like those benches or things that we dedicate to people who've like contributed so much in our time. Those are still things that can be passed down or legacy, really.
Hmm. That's exactly what I want. Something like that. I don't want. Um,
Fame and fortune and yeah.
yeah. And I just want my kids to be like, yeah, that was my mom. She really worked hard, and I want them to have something to be proud of. To be like, yep, that's my mom. And
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
goal.
Do you
That's
have
my,
any other fitness goals for yourself?
for myself, yeah, I am actually I'm training myself to do the incline, the mean
What?
to, the man, Manitou incline in Colorado.
Oh,
It's
what's
like
that?
almost 3,000 steps up a mountain. Yes. So
That's
I'm
incredible.
I am planning on doing that, and I want to be able to do that with a 20-pound weighted vest on as well.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
That is my goal for the summer.
That's a great goal. I feel like I'm exhausted going up 3 flights of stairs. I'm like,
And my poor husband, I'm making him do it with me, so he's like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
It's
so
my
good. Do
goal.
you do you guys include your kids in some of that stuff too?
Yeah, when they want to. Most of them they're teenagers, so hanging out with moms, that mom, dad, whatever. Nah,
Yeah.
but I really try to incorporate it. Yes. And we've really and the one good thing about at the gym, it's actually become quite a family place for my family because my father-in-law goes there. My stepdaughter actually works there now as a receptionist, and my husband goes there as well. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. So I really try to, keep the health and the fitness in the kids' life because outside of it, you get whatever. You get the outside influences, and we know how that can be.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for them teenagers, man. You're like, just stay alive, whatever you do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they'll tell me all the time, like, we don't have anything to eat in the house. I'm like, yeah, we do. You just got to make it.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
make it. And they're like, what?
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yep. That's awesome.
they're kids.
So, yeah.
I'm trying to get them to do the incline this summer, but none of them are even remotely interested.
Yeah, that's
So
hard.
fingers are crossed.
Fingers crossed. I wish them well. I hope you well. Do you think other
Well,
than
thank you.
Yeah. Do you think other than like fitness and health, that kind of like I'd assume like family values, are there any other like values that you really like to instill in your kids?
Yeah, I want them to understand that they are important, that they are heard, and that they matter, and that no matter what they're going through, they know I'm here. And I want them to understand that they're they're amazing. In my, you know, That's just my opinion, but I'm also mom, so I'm biased.
Well, I think you gotta
But
think that to a degree in order to like overcome great things, right? Like you have to think that you're
yeah,
worthy or that you're enough to really dedicate, being healthy or, being
exactly.
fit, any of those goals.
And that's
So,
really what I try to tell them. I'm like, you can do anything you put your mind to.
mhm,
That's my biggest thing. Like one of our kids, he loves football.
mhm,
And he's like, I want to join the NFL. I'm like, if you keep working, you can, So I really instill keep going, keep going. Do not give up. If it gets hard, take a break, do it again.
mhm.
So that's what I really try to instill on them. That's
Yeah,
just the way it is in life too. We
yeah,
just got to get up and go.
yeah, yeah. So much do we need to teach to our kids that like failure is so okay and so normal and
Hmm.
so needed for growth.
Exactly. Just keep going. Doesn't matter how many times you fall, stumble. It doesn't matter how slow you go. Just keep going.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah. And
my
again,
goal.
that cheerleader, the corner, you being in the corner to cheer them on, that's so
Yeah.
big for so many people. And I think people really miss that concept of like, you don't have to do everything alone, you know?
No, exactly.
And I think sometimes, like, especially owning a business or, being on your own journey of like learning how to be a coach or a trainer or doing all that stuff, it feels lonely at times.
Yeah, definitely. There was times where I'm just like, I don't think I can do this. Nobody understands, especially when I was
Mm-hmm.
going through my injuries and my surgeries and things like that. I felt disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to understand that they're not alone. That it doesn't matter what it is, somebody's out there who's going through it too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you can just keep going and be an inspiration for other people. That's the hope.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for women and moms, especially. I feel like with today's economy and just the way everything's going, I feel like it's so hard to give those people hope, you know?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there was times where I went through eviction, I went through multiple job loss,
Mhm.
and having to sleep on a couch and things like that. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there were times I felt so alone. And I just wish that there was somebody there that would tell me that, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, and that it does get better. And you don't
Definitely.
have to resort to bad stuff or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people miss the excitement of an underdog story of just like being able to come
Hmm.
back better than ever. And they just
Exactly.
don't realize that. And your story sounds incredible, the underdog.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I went through quite a bit. Like I said, I was almost 400 pounds, and the surgeries I've went through, the things I've went through, I look at it now, I'm like, yeah, I went through it. But if I actually talk about it and I sit and I think about it, I'm like, wow, that is quite, you know, to me, I'm like, yeah, that was my life.
Do you
But
think if somebody would have told you at 20 this is what you'd be doing and where you'd be at, would you believe them?
no, I would have looked at them and laughed so hard in my that I would have peed myself. Because there would, if you would have told me this is where my life would have is going to be 5 years ago, I would have been like, no way. There ain't
Mm-hmm.
no way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trapped in the same cycle over and over, paycheck to paycheck, and just dreading every day and not living for myself. So And then finally I
Yeah.
was like, I can't do that no more.
Yeah.
And I had to
What do you
change.
hope you would be doing in 5, 10 years from now?
In 5 to 10 or 10 years from now, in 5 years from now, I want to hopefully have a good foundation for starting out, a good community center for women or something along those lines. And
Mm-hmm.
then hopefully in 10 years, actually have a place to do that with. That people can be like, oh, I know that place. That's ran by Teela. She did great, you know. And
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to be like, people be like, oh, I know her. Her story's awesome. She did this and this, and look where she's at now, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
me just getting it out there is new because I'm not used to talking about it. And that's what I want. I'm hoping to have that self-confidence within the next 5 to 10 years that I could just sit here and just talk about everything, without sounding like word vomit.
It's understandable. Yeah. Well, I hope that you come so far that you keep going and that
Thank you.
5 years from now you are like actually baffled. You have that same reflection now where you're like, 5 years
Yeah.
ago, me would laugh right now. Like, that's not real. This is not real.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to get to that point, you know, and I'm really hoping to do that self growth to feel confident enough and to be able to be like, yes, this is me, and you know, all that. Because right now I'm still like, yeah,
Yeah,
I did it. Cool. And I mean, I'm
that's
glad,
awesome.
but yeah.
hmm Well, I
Yeah.
hope I can follow along with the story and see how things go. I think you'll be an inspiration for a lot of other people. I think so many people are scared to take the leap into their own dreams and their own career. Especially when it comes to like owning a business or doing any
Mm,
of those things, getting all the training. Like you said, the education part are so many hurdles. I feel like that
oh
stops
my
so many people
gosh.
today. Yeah. And for
Yes.
you to be self taught and still, getting certificates and doing all the things
Mhm.
now, like I feel like so many people are like, oh, it's too late for me, or I can't do that, or
Never too late.
never too late.
Never. Uh-uh. Never too
So,
late. I say go
so,
for it. Shoot for the
yes.
moon. Because was it shoot for the moon, you land among the stars.
Yes. What is there to lose? Absolutely.
Exactly. And your
That's
view is
awesome.
always beautiful from the top.
Yes, it is.
That's what
At
I
least here in
say.
Wyoming it is.
Right? I love it
Thank you.
here.
Yes.
So yes, keep following along with everything. I'm definitely going to be updating more and like I said, trying to build that self-confidence. So
I
to
love it.
inspire
That's
others.
awesome. Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I really appreciate this inspiring story that I know is going to help so many other people start making those leaps
Good.
and have confidence in themselves. So,
Absolutely. I really
thank you.
hope so. Yes. I would
Yeah.
love to do this again sometime. Just reach out if you ever want to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely. We will have to follow along with the story for sure.
Yes.
So,
Sounds great. All right.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.